So we are recording now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You doing?
Good. I'm doing well. Do you live in Asheville?
I live in Asheville. That's right.
Okay. How long have you been in Asheville?
My whole life. I was born in Asheville and I grew up in Madison County, Mars
Okay.
Hill. So I'm born and bred.
Nice, nice. And then so born and bred in Asheville, and then you went to ETSU?
Yep, that's right. Over in Johnson City.
Yeah, yeah. I've got ties to Johnson City, so that's awesome.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so yeah, the premise, as I told you earlier, is I want to know everything Adam Davis. I got to know everything Adam Davis. Adam, where do we begin?
Well, um, everything. Good Lord. Um,
It'll funnel into
okay.
film and music and stuff.
Okay.
I won't get into every relationship that you have with family members and stuff, but
All right, okay, that sounds good. That sounds good.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I've loved making films and videos since I was, knee high to a grasshopper. It's been my jam. Like, I've loved doing it since I was really little. And what really got me into it is I would watch YouTube a ton, and I would watch Lego stop motion videos,
Okay, yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I would just be blown away by like Lego, like all these Lego people moving on their own, and I was like, I want to do that. And I figured out like I could take photos, and make my little Lego guys move. And I started to learn like the magic of filmmaking and everything. And I would make videos with my friends, and I eventually would get them all together and burn them onto a disc. And I would go into like school, and my teacher, she'd put it in and she'd show everybody, and getting to watch it with everybody was just really cool. And loved it so much, and I was like, I want to keep doing this. So it inspired me to continue to work on film, and eventually led me to go to college at East Tennessee University. And I was like, I want that same experience. I want to like show things to people, and really enjoy what I do. And I went from Windows Movie Maker to learning Adobe Premiere, and just having so much fun with that. So, and then after that, I got a lot of really cool opportunities to be a part of films, and I made my own short film when I went to ETSU, which was As the Crow Flies, which is such an awesome project, and I got to work on it with so many cool people. And then recently, one of my friends, he made a film which I acted in, and I'm not an actor by any means, but he
Oh no,
he
I
let
saw
me
your
act in.
performance in As the Crow Flies. You were
Oh,
the
did you? Yeah,
weren't you the guitar smasher?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
It's such a crazy story. One of my friends who actually helped make the music for that, Bradley Ferguson, he he wasn't feeling that great that day, and he was supposed to be the guitar smasher guy. And he excellent guitarist, super cool guy. He's an amazing guitarist, bluegrass guitarist, and he was supposed to be the guitar smasher guy. And he's like, man, I'm not feeling good. He was having like surgery on his shoulder, so I felt really bad. But then I was like, I don't have anybody else, so uh, you know,
Yeah, good
I got
on
to
you
do it.
for stepping up to the plate and becoming the junkie that smashes the guitar.
Oh yeah, man, the junkie. I can play that role very well, I think. But it was really cool. And my friend Nick, who was my cinematographer on that film, he uh, he thought I had the chops watching me in that like really short segment of my film. So he asked me to be the lead in his film.
Oh,
And
cool.
just recently, it got accepted at Film Fest Knox over in Knoxville, and it premiered at the Regal Riviera downtown, and we ended up winning the jury prize. So really cool experience, and I'm so proud of Nick and the work that we did. It was really awesome. But yeah, I just love making movies and videos, and I really wanted to be more of a video editor, and I started getting my hand in the videography and just kind of being a jack of all trades and just doing a lot of freelance stuff. And that led me to go to Hilton Head and be the video producer there, and work on the behind the curtain
Yeah, I
series.
watched the most recent two episodes, 10 and
Oh
9.
yeah,
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 what a cool gig. So you got to go to Hilton Head to film that?
Yeah, it was really great. We lived on a dorm at the University of South Carolina, Beaufort, and I got to stay there over the summer and help make a video every week for the Southeastern Summer Theater Institute, which is really
Yeah.
cool. And Ben Wolf's the man. He's a really cool guy. He's the founder, and he was like the executive producer over the series, and also had help with Eleanor and Marissa, who were the digital media assistants who helped out a lot. And it was really cool being there doing that and doing something that I love and being able to work on it and collaborate with people and so much fun, man. It was really cool. But
Yeah, that was and I was shocked that was the third season of that. Did you participate in seasons one and two?
no, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, they had uh their guy backed out kind of like last second, and
Yeah.
they were looking for people, and they reached out to me, and I interviewed with them, and they liked the work that I did, and I ended up getting to go there over the summer, and it was a really great experience. Made a lot of cool friends, and um, it was a lot of fun. So I
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
just the two episodes I saw got me like really inspired, and I was like, wait, why isn't this a Netflix series? Like in a way, and I think that may be the point of why they're producing that is to kind of show like, there's a lot of
Yeah,
people involved that in theater or who have done theater before that it kind of reminded me of like, well, I don't know, how old are you?
I'm 24.
24, I'm 35. So like there was a lot of shows like reality shows on Disney growing up, and one was called Bug Juice about
Yeah.
about a summer camp. And it
Oh,
was, and so imagine like just a reality TV show in the 90s for kids. Um, and they just kind of followed these kids around the summer camp. You know what I mean? So I was like,
yeah, yeah,
wow,
yeah,
like I think this would do really well because a lot of people, uh, have been involved in high school theater at some point, or they are
yeah,
involved in theater. And there's just like watching it, I was like, whoa, you went through a lot of footage. Like,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, I was just like flabbergasted. I was like, there is so much going on. Like watching it is one thing, but like kind of knowing a little bit about production, I was like, oh my gosh, like Adam went through so much stuff. Like,
Oh, it was awesome. It was really cool, and we got to meet a lot of really cool people too. And it's a great, I think it's a great marketing tool to show like how fun this place is. Because more importantly than anything, if you're sending your kid to this camp, you want to see your kid having fun, but also maintaining that. There's the idea of like you can grow your career if you're a theater kid and you want to go here and you want to you know do this as a career. So it was really cool and uh, really really special to be a part of that. And the people who were a part of it were so like their accolades were crazy. Like Jane Lanier, who was one of the directors for the Sweet Charity production that they did, he was in the original Sweet Charity on Broadway with Bob Fosse.
oh,
And I'm not a
cool.
theater person at all, but I love all that jazz, that
Yeah,
movie that Bob Fosse directed. And he's so awesome. And being able to meet her, and she actually got to work with Bob Fosse is really cool. And then the other director for Gypsy, the musical Gypsy, was Jacob Brent, who was in the original debut of Cats. I may be incorrect about that. I'm not 100%
you
sure.
got some OGs in there.
I know, and he was Mr. Mistopheles. He was the yeah, and he's in the movie,
Yeah,
which is so crazy. And
yeah.
it was just so cool meeting them and interviewing them and hearing their insights and getting to watch them, work with the students there. It was really fun.
That's
I enjoyed
crazy.
that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So had you had any experience before doing like it's one thing to write something and know how you're going to shoot it and go out there like you did your short film,
Hmm.
which is awesome. I loved it.
Thank you.
And to go out there and execute it, and especially if you're the director, writer, and everything, kind of like knowing how it's all going to come together, how you're going to film it, what you want out of it. But had you ever done anything where you were going into it like, okay, so yeah, I'm sure you watched season one and two a little bit
Hmm.
of this series, and then had you ever like catalog footage like that, had a system or a framework of ever going through that stuff, or were you kind of just like, I just have a hard drive, I'm gonna dump a bunch of footage on there and give it a whirl?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, kind of, sort of. I was like, you know, at ETSU, I got to be part of a work study with my professor, Shara Lang, who's awesome. She's the coolest professor ever. But I got to do similar things to that, and that really led me to have experience going into my work at SSTI, and it was a different ball game, that's for sure. It was like you kind of have to just go in and just film what's going on, and just try to capture that feeling of actually being there, and that was kind of tough, and I just kind of went for it, and I think like just because I was having so much fun being there with everyone, and also I love just filming and editing, and it was just like, oh, it was like second nature. It just felt like I'm making stop motion movies again, so it just kind of came naturally, and I really enjoyed the experience, and I was like, yeah, this is. It was kind of tough, having that deadline every week, where it's like, okay, we got to make a video about everything that happened this week, but we got it done, and I had a lot of help too, so I was really
Yeah.
appreciative for that.
And like when it comes to like editing that project, did you have like final cut on it? Like were you able just to kind of be like, yeah, this is how I see this playing out and I just want to do that and here it is. It's 7 minutes
Yeah,
long, it's 10 minutes long, it's 12 minutes long. And did you like did you send it to somebody and then they uploaded it or were you kind of just
yeah. Well, I uploaded everything, and it's a really cool way that we did everything. Is we had a meeting with Ben, who's the founder, as well as the digital media assistants Eleanor and Marissa, and we all talked about what kind of vibe we were going for this season, and the consensus was like we want to make it like The Office, where
hmm
it's a reality show but it's not really a reality show. We want to kind of just capture what's going on and show the shenanigans and just have fun with it. And Ben gave me so much creative freedom to just kind of go and film whatever I wanted, and I wanted to try to maintain it to 8 minutes. That was my goal.
Yeah.
But there ended up being up there ended up in just so much stuff, and I was like, I can't put this in like an 8 minute video, and they had to gradually get a little bit longer as the season progressed, but I think it worked out really well, and I think the style and the format that we went for ended up um, working pretty well for the third season of their, their series, which watching the other guys do their thing and coming in and kind of having my own twist on it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed how much freedom I got, and I think it was a lot of fun being able to do that. So
Yeah. And that was this past year or this last summer or pre or
yeah,
most recent
yeah,
summer?
this most recent summer. That's right.
Wow. Yeah, I got to go to Hilton Head. I hope you get to do
Oh
season
man,
4. I hope they
yeah.
were really impressed with it and that you'll get to be back there. I mean, hell yeah, dude. A summer of getting paid for awesome work in Hilton Head.
Oh, the
That's awesome.
beach. Yeah, Savannah. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous down there. It's absolutely beautiful. And getting to go to the beach on your day off is
Yeah.
you don't get to go to the beach on your day off in Nashville, that's for sure. So it's a nice
Yeah.
change of scenery. It was really cool.
That's awesome. Well, good. Yeah, that was great work. The most recent 2 episodes that I saw, and again, it just like invigorated a lot of inspiration because I grew up with a lot of theater, so I was like, oh my
Oh
gosh,
yeah.
yes, it's just seeing like the people geek out about costumes they made or techniques they were using, the
Hmm.
set design, like oh, we want to do 3 dimensional but do texture painting. I was like, oh my gosh, like, and they're so into it, and I love it. I love it when people are like just so
Oh
into what
yeah.
they're doing, and that's got to be so
Yeah.
fun to film and just be around
Oh
that energy. Because sometimes I'm sure you've like filmed people where you have to like draw stuff out of them,
yeah. They're
like
like, hey, could you do that like this? Yeah.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
it was all just they just had that energy, and they were like, because I think it's just they foster such an environment where it's just like fun is, it's a need, not a want. It's like you got to have fun while you're here, and they've
yeah,
really accomplished that. And yeah, the whole technical side is so underappreciated, and I think that it's what makes theater so freaking awesome. And
yeah.
it was so cool, the work that they did. I was impressed. I'm not a theater person at all.
Yeah,
Getting to
and
go,
that's probably the best kind of eyes to come at it. Somebody
yeah,
that likes to film things that is you're fish out of water to it. So you're just like, what do I even capture here?
yeah, yeah.
So that's
Oh,
why
100%.
that's why like I'm really I'm giving my endorsement for you to do season 4 because you cut your teeth in season 3 and now like you know what's up. So season 4, like you'll get into the nitty gritty of stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. 100%. We wanted to do like a actual reality show where you'd have like the cutaways to the interview after like
Yeah.
you could like somebody has like side eye, and they like look off, and I think we
Yeah.
could have a lot of fun with that.
I don't know the structure of SSTI, but like, I mean, it has elements of all the tropes in reality, even competition shows, because even the first thing would be auditions. Like you meet a cast of people,
Right.
and then you
Yeah.
have to see them audition for a role. Maybe they really want the lead role, but they don't get the lead role, they get a different role. And you watch their character arc through all that, or maybe you find somebody that thinks they're a certain figure in that community, and it's actually they like lighting. They really love lighting, and who knew?
Yeah.
They thought
Yeah.
they were a typecast character in something. But yeah, like I'm just from the 2 episodes I watched, I was like, okay, I see what's going on. This is great. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll bring you with me next time.
Yeah, I'll be your pitch. I'll be your pitch person. I don't. I won't know how to do anything. I'll just really. I'll be the hype man in that
Yeah.
situation.
That sounds great. Sold.
Sold. That's
Well, you've worked
awesome.
on your own thing. What was it called? Outer Town, is that right?
Yeah, yeah, that's a script I wrote. So went through a thing where um I actually lived with my dad. I lived with my dad in Johnson City for like a few months.
Oh,
I
very
lived in Atlanta for a while and trying to pursue film, acting, music, art, whatever. And then I kind of left
hmm
Atlanta for various reasons, and I was like, kind of at rock bottom. I'm like, my dad was like, "You can come live with me here. It's great up here. It's good." And so
Yeah.
I lived with him for a couple of months, and then I had friends out in Los Angeles that were like, "Come out to Los Angeles. You have a total reset. Come out here." And so I was like, I couch surfed
Yeah.
in Los Angeles for a while, and as you do in Los
Oh, that's
Angeles,
cool.
is you have to. There two things I needed to do was see how far into the building of Scientology I could get without getting converted. And I just had to. And then two
Yeah,
is
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I got to write a screenplay. I'm in Los Angeles. My friends are weird actors and musicians, and like couch surfing. So I wrote Outer Town while I was out there, and then
That's so cool.
we did like a reading of it, and just a very bare bones reading of it on an iMac microphone. And then when I got back to Johnson City, I started doing animatics for it because I was like, this could be
Yeah.
animated. This could be just storyboards. This could just be me coping.
hmm
Because
Yeah. Right.
like kind of coming from that, like you're talking about stop motion. There's a lot of film people I know that got interested through stop motion. It's just something if you're a solo kind of filmmaker person, you have the tools and you don't really have a means of knowing how to like film yourself and direct stuff by yourself
Yeah.
as a live actor. You're like, okay, well, how can I set up these so you did your own Lego stop motion? Like you had your
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
Lego
Yeah.
sets that you were doing?
Yeah.
What was
Yeah. Yeah.
what was the premise of one of your what's the one you're most proud of? If you could pull it up right now, we could watch it. Do you remember what the plot was and what was going
Dude.
on, or was there a
Oh
certain
my,
thing that you did? Did they,
I don't even want to remember.
Ah, man, I bet they were
But I
solid.
mean, like, I think just I was so addicted to watching like the Lego Star Wars, like um just these really the most nerdy thing
Yeah,
you could possibly imagine. And it would be like like what clone trooper training is like. And
yeah,
it was just like this parody thing, and that like blew my mind. And I was like, this is so funny, and I want to make something like that. So a lot of it kind of revolved around like little Star Wars pieces and guys like fighting each other. And I was such like a nerd back then, being like, oh gosh, I don't even know, like 8, 10 years old, and wanted to, have like action scenes with these little Lego guys, in my imagination. I was like, this is so cool. And let it be really funny too, like that, the Star Wars thing. And I just, I would go all out. But, the only, the only thing I really remember, and I think I actually still have recorded, it wasn't Lego, but it was like this banana peel where somebody would eat this banana and then the peel would crawl into the trash can. And I was like, I was so proud of that. I was like,
that would
this is
freak me
my
out.
magnum opus. Yeah, it
That's
was
a that's
terrifying.
a great like 30-second short film right there.
I
So,
know, I know.
and did you do that? Like, let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's get nerdy. So, was this like on a compact camera? Was this on like
Oh my gosh, it was
we
my
talking
mom's
like
like,
digital video? We talking on an SD card?
oh my gosh, you're bringing back some memories. It was like my mom's Rebel, Sony Rebel, or Canon Rebel, it's not Sony Rebel, Canon Rebel camera that she had. I don't even remember it. She had this old janky tripod that I would set up, and it was just whatever was lying around the house. Like
And
I
you
would just
were
grab
you
it
taking
and
like picture by picture? Or would you like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Taking individual pictures and moving them each time, and it
love
was
it?
very
And then
long,
you would
long
throw
process.
that all into iMovie, I guess, or not iMovie, Windows Movie Maker. And
Yeah,
then you would have to like trim down each little frame, I guess, or because sometimes
yeah. I
like it
think.
automatically does like this weird Ken Burns effect, at least in iMovie it does. I don't know if it does.
Oh yeah, where it's like
It's like
zooming in on.
because
Yeah,
I've seen some bad like films where people do stop motion. They just toss all the images into Movie Maker or iMovie,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
it applies that automatically. So it made me want to throw up. It was like whoop, whoop, whoop. It's just like I don't know if you went through that, but I witnessed it in other people.
I did not have the Ken Burns experience, but I definitely would just vomit all of these photos in there and
Yeah.
just half-ass it, just throw it all in there and be like, all right, it's done. This is
So
perfect.
I know we should be talking about like your awesome recent short film in the SSTI season. But I want to get into the
No, I
nigger.
love it.
I
I
gotta
love
know. We're going so far back, bro. Um,
it.
so like, did you? So you would see these Lego things on stop motion on YouTube, and then you would make them. And now I want to know: did you go on YouTube and upload them to YouTube, your movies
Yeah.
onto YouTube?
No, I was too scared at the time.
Yeah.
I was too nervous. But like I said, I would burn a lot of this stuff on a disc, and you know, I remember specifically the banana was on that disc, the
Oh,
banana
we
scene.
gotta find the banana.
We got to dig it
We
up.
gotta call up your
Yeah,
parents and find it.
yeah. It's in the trash somewhere. Probably it's under
No,
piles
no.
of junk. It was titled Adam's Family Fun CD, is what it was called,
Oh
but
man. So
so
you
silly.
would
Yeah,
burn it on a disc and then you had the disc. Did you make a cover of the disc? Did you like make a little did you
I
print
think I
out a poster of anything and put it in the
I think it
disc
was
and
like a very crudely caveman kind of like drawing of like a stick figure with
okay.
like Comic Sans
Okay.
kind of font on it or something like that.
All right.
But
All right. So what's the gap between that and then ETSU? And you study what did you study at ETSU?
so at ETSU, they don't really have a film major. They have radio, television, and film. So that was my
Okay.
major. So I got a little taste of everything. So I got a taste of,
Yeah.
radio, communication law, like,
Hmm.
media law, trademark, and all that stuff. And as well as like live TV production and also, uh, actual filmmaking. They had like screenwriting classes. I took like one very small screenwriting. Well, I can't remember what the class was, but I remember screenwriting in that class, and I wrote like a film noir script. And I got so addicted to that. Like I was like, this is so fun, and like it didn't feel like I was like, I hate writing. I hate,
Hmm.
I was such a like dweeb. I was like, I hate reading and writing, and then I really learned to love it a lot more through that class. And but yeah, that was my major, and then my minor was film studies, which was taught by two professors, which was C. Wessels and Matthew Holtmeyer, who are like the coolest people in the world, and they introduced me to so many films that I never knew existed, and getting to talk about films with them and be in those classes was like, oh, man, it was just unreal. It didn't feel like school. It felt like we're just hanging out watching movies, so that was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Yeah,
So between these Legos, a really crucial part of your career, these Lego stop motion,
very crucial. Yeah, yeah.
and then between that and then going to ETSU, were you making films with your friends, like live action short films or anything like that, or did you film like just stuff and you would make, I'm just curious what kind of after the stop motion stuff, did you get into other things that you wanted to
Yeah, it was a
film?
lot of stuff for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, just random things that I got to be a part of, and like I was. my experience behind the camera was just taking photos of my little Lego guys, and
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of experience behind the camera. So going to school there, I kind of got more of an opportunity than my plan was I wanted to study abroad so
Yeah.
bad, and I wanted
Yeah.
to go to like school in England and learn film there, and I was like so interested in doing that, and I got everything approved with film and everything with the film minor, and then COVID happened, so that
Mm.
really sucked.
Yeah.
And I remember taking videography through a Zoom call like we're doing right now, and the guys was like,
Yeah.
"Sorry guys, we ain't got any equipment." So a lot of that was video editing. But then once things kind of got a little bit more back to normal, um, I got to film a few things. I remember one thing that I filmed that was so awesome was um, the bluegrass um, class, or what do you call it? I don't think it was a major. I think it was more of a minor. But that bluegrass minor, they reached out to our department and they were like, "Hey, can you guys film this group who's playing like these really traditional old it was this I think it was Brazilian, like these old Brazilian songs, and we're going to go up on Buffalo Mountain and Johnson City, and we're going to go by this creek. Can you guys film it?" And that was one of the first instances where I actually got to be behind a camera, and I was working with this guy named Cade, and we were filming this thing, and I was like, "This is so awesome! This is so cool! Being able to just hang out with these guys and record them playing music." And I remember they had a tambourine, and they had violin and banjo, and it was just insane. And I got to actually, he was like, "Here, you try it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And everything's out of focus and it looks horrible, but I was like, "Oh, I'm doing this." I
Hmm.
really felt like it was a great experience for me. And then, being at ETSU, I got a lot more experience working with everyone and my friends, and commercials. And I remember we shot with my friend Nick, we shot this commercial for a pillow company in Knoxville, which was really cool. And they were handing out pillows to 911 operators and doing a lot of stuff, and kind of cutting my teeth that way and figuring out like what I really enjoy doing. And I've realized like, oh, I want to get my own camera and start to do this stuff on my own. So saved up and got a Sony A7 III and started filming a lot of my own stuff. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
It was a great experience. I really enjoyed just making things.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, their bluegrass programs like the program at ETSU.
Yeah,
So even
it's
just being
killer.
able to like being around that, and I'm not surprised. I'm surprised, but not surprised. They're just like, oh yeah, let's do some Brazilian music, like old.
Yeah,
That's probably never been like high quality documented before by awesome
yeah.
players. Like, yeah, we're just gonna do that. It's like,
It was so cool. And like the
yeah,
song, I can't remember the song, but it was just so neat. And like, yeah, with the tambourine and everything, I was like,
yeah.
this sounds amazing. But yeah,
Yeah, my brief time in Johnson City, I there was a place, I don't know if it's still around, but or if you ever frequented it, it was called Acoustic Coffee House.
no,
Um,
I didn't.
oh man, it was kind of wild. I don't think it's
That
around
sounds very
anymore.
well.
It was next to a laundromat that was near a lot of like housing where the students stayed and stuff. But I just
Oh,
remember like
gotcha, gotcha.
hanging out by that laundromat and like um just seeing like people just practicing in there, like violin
That's
and
cool.
guitar and all that. And then Acoustic
Yeah.
Coffee House would have like open mic nights. And you would get a
Oh,
lot
very
of like
cool.
really seasoned musicians just stopping through Johnson City. And it wouldn't be
Yeah.
like a full-on show, but they were coming through to go to Nashville.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so they would just like, and they just had a bunch of tables. So you get a pitcher of beer and just show up to a table, and whoever was at the table was your friends that night.
That's really
Like
cool.
it was encouraged that you just brought a picture over and just hung out with whoever's at it. It's very like French kind of social kind of thing where you just showed up and there's somebody playing in the corner, and it was a performance, but you could like kind of talk and meet people. And
That's really cool.
yeah, I really miss that spot.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Um
Johnson City has the coolest bars like in the world.
and
Like,
that's you had Down Home featured in your
yeah,
As the Crow Flies.
yeah,
Um
I did.
So
Um,
we are doing this on Zoom, so we're going to run out of time. That doesn't mean we're going to stop the thing completely.
okay, okay,
We'll just take a little pee break and then come back to it, and
okay.
I'll put
Sounds
the
good.
two files together. I wanted to do it on Google Hangouts or Meets or whatever, but it's been so long since I've done it that now they have
Yeah.
a premium thing where you have to pay to record
Oh my
stuff.
gosh.
And I was trying to
That's
I was trying to
ridiculous.
do like OBS and all this crap, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
so. But you can still record it on the free Zoom, but you just have to take a minute long break before you do it in 40-minute increments. Um,
Oh, that's interesting.
but yeah, I want to talk about As the Crow Flies, your most recent short film,
Yeah.
featured Down Home in it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
is that a place that you like? So you okay? Let me step back. You wrote and directed the film, um,
Hmm.
and it was part of your senior thesis. Is that correct? Or your
Yeah.
senior project or
The
your
capstone project is
capstone
what they
project?
called it. Yeah.
And so when you were developing this, had you done any other short narrative films before? Um,
No, I
okay.
uh, I just wrote the one little quick, like I wrote a 25-page screenplay. It was like a film noir thing that I wrote, and I loved it. I thought it was so cool. The guy's name was like Sully, and it had like the femme fatale, and then he ends
Hmm.
up getting burned, like that
Yeah.
whole kind of thing. And like, oh, I think I could do this. I think I could do it. And it didn't start off as The Crow Flies. Like it started off like I wanted to do like an anthology kind of thing where it was like two guys, two roommates in their dorm, like so, cliche like college film, and then just talking, and then it would be an anthology of like the experiences that they've had in their lives and all of this stuff. And I wanted to base it off the books in Hearth. And I was like, so realizing like, hey, I go to the down home and I watch my friends play bluegrass, which was Conlon and Brad who helped make the movie. And Conlon actually stars in the movie. And I was like, I love this environment. I loved it so much. And that's kind of what led me to go and film at the down home. And such a cool place, man. It's such a cool place. I loved going there,
Yeah.
drinking beer and just
Yeah.
watching music. It was great.
That's awesome. And do you play music?
I well, I started in COVID when COVID happened. Like I
Yeah.
started playing guitar when COVID happened, and I ended up, really loving it. And funny enough, um, Conlon, I would just go and jam out with Conlon and Brad, and I couldn't do half of the stuff that they did. And I was just so mesmerized by watching these guys play, and I was like, man, I want to, get on their level, which is
Yeah.
impossible because they're like cut from a different cloth. But Conlon ended up and he was like, hey, man, why don't you take a class? And I needed some credits. So I was like, oh, yeah, sure. So I ended up taking the bluegrass class um, with the bluegrass um, minor over there. And man, it was cool. It taught me a lot. I didn't know how to use a pick until I took that class, as silly as it may be. And I ended up really enjoying playing. And um, I ended up making some music for this video poem that I did for one of my classes in college. And yeah, I love playing and just jamming out with those guys. And it's really hard. It's tough to learn an instrument, that's for sure. But
And
it's
you were playing
kind of
guitar?
fun. What's that?
Or was it guitar that you were playing?
Yeah, I was playing guitar. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's really cool once you kind of learn some chords and some things like that. I see you got a guitar behind you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Did you grow up with bluegrass at all, or is it like you kind of went to ETSU and you're like, oh, people are into bluegrass here?
Oh yeah, my family really loved bluegrass, and I really had an affinity for it as well. Like, I thought it was so cool, like listening to Doc Watson and um, just all of these bluegrass people. Like, I love Doc Watson and Merle Watson, that album
Yeah.
that they did together. And um, I remember in high school, I ended up using that like soundtrack to like help make this little documentary thing that I did. That because you use audio, you can't publish it anywhere. It was just for that. But
Yeah.
um, I really loved listening to that music, and I definitely was like, man, it'd be cool to play as fast as these guys one day. So I
Yeah,
took that
it'll
class and
bluegrass will kick
learned
your
Wild with
ass.
Flower.
Yeah. Yeah,
Fast grass, yeah.
it'll kick your yeah, fast grass, it'll just kick your ass trying to sit in a circle. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I play mandolin and guitar and a little bit of
Oh,
banjo
that's so
too. And
cool.
I didn't grow up with bluegrass, but I grew up with like metal and thrash metal and punk rock.
Oh
So
yeah. It
when I would,
translates.
yeah, it actually does. Like you just want to keep up. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
like I want to play fast. I want to keep up and do something interesting and all that. And then you're kind of like waiting. If you're in a circle or whatever, you're kind of like, all right,
Yeah.
it's my time. Like let's go. Like let's do it
Do
and
this.
see what we
Yeah,
can
I hear
do.
you.
And if you flub it or whatever, it's no big deal. Like on to the next person in the circle or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. It's cool, man. That's really, really cool.
And then there's always like so many like helpful players too. Like they see what you're trying to do, or they might
Yeah.
see um all kinds of like things that would just contribute to the vibe better. I don't know, my experience. So it's a very cool community to step in and try to keep
Oh
up
yeah.
with. But
Yeah, they're the most down to earth people. Like I remember playing with Conlon and Brad, just like hanging out at their house and just jamming out. And
hmm
I would try to like come up with stuff, and they would be like, they would teach me the ways, and we ended up like because we did that so much, we ended up like recording some music, um, and the audio quality is so bad on it. But for As the Crow Flies, I was on this laptop that I'm using right now, which is this busted
you know
ass
who also
laptop.
had terrible audio quality? The Carter
Who's that?
family. The Carter family. Like
Oh yeah, there you go.
that stuff is like old stuff is Alan Lomax and all that stuff, Carter family.
Yeah,
It's audio is garbage, so it starts somewhere.
yeah, yeah. It's not so much the audio quality. It's, I
The
guess, what
quality in the audio.
you know exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, they ended up making a lot of original stuff for the film, which was so amazing. And just watching them, like, I would just press like record on
Yeah.
the like Premiere, and they would just play over top of it, which is like the worst way to do this. Like, so, like, oh gosh, I hate the way that we did it. Like, I wish we were in a studio, like,
Sure,
but
yeah. Yeah, but you had it in Premiere and then did you just use like
yeah,
a USB mic or just the built-in mic or
yeah, I had a little Yeti microphone.
Okay,
We all kind
yeah.
of gathered around it,
Yeah,
and
dude.
I
I've
ended
been
up,
there.
yeah, man. That's how bluegrass people are. They're getting around one microphone and they're just playing,
Yeah.
So nothing new to them, man. But yeah, I ended up singing in the final song, which was really cool. That um, uh, what's it called? I can't even remember the name of it right now. Gosh, my mind's not
What at the
there.
end of the film?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At the end of the film.
Yeah, the montage at the end. I mean, I just watched it, so but yeah,
Yeah,
you had a featured song at the end, and that was you singing it?
yeah, that was me singing it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was a cool decision to do like a montage at the end because you could have gone the direction of like he goes up there and lip syncs a song or something and I'm sure you may have thought of that and yeah, I liked your montage. That was cool.
Oh,
It
cool.
helped kind of this like release of emotions because sometimes with montages it is kind of like this looking back on everything that's happened and it's kind of
Yeah,
this final finale of like okay, like and
yeah, yeah,
then you had the record exec that was there and all that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was a really cool thing that I wanted to incorporate. Is I wanted to show that the exec or the lady show up, and um, I really wanted to kind of emphasize that. And I think the montage worked out really well, and kind of showed that off, because it's like we're all leading up to this moment, and then it's like really crazy, and then things are kind of leveling out, and then the end is kind
hmm
of like what happens now. So I think the
Yeah.
montage did play well. Yeah, I agree. Lance and Greg didn't have any musical experience, but Colin was the only person who could actually play. So
Yeah.
it would be kind of tough to be like, all right, just play, Deep River Blues or something, just like go
Yeah.
crazy, But I think it turned out really well. I was really happy with
I
the way
liked
it
it,
turned out.
man. On this note, we're gonna take our little intermission and then we'll be
All
right
right,
back. Yeah.
sounds great.
Awesome.
After this commercial.
Yes. Yeah, so we're back on it. So we were talking about As the Crow Flies and
Yes.
I just that when did you so you did the Crow As the Crow Flies and then you did the SSTI series, right? or was
Yeah, I
it
had a few more things before that, which I want to, shout out you guys. I'm not sure if you know this or not,
oh Mo
but
Kindred's music video?
Mo
Yeah,
Kindred, that's right.
yeah. I rewatched that video too recently
Awesome.
when I was kind of getting ready for this, and I just remember I think that was our first showcase, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been
Yeah,
the first or second one, but it was one of those things where it was me, Brittany, and Rome were kind of the were coordinators of that event, and we kind of
that's
review
cool.
everything and have a Zoom
Yeah,
call about the different videos and stuff. And I remember we all just really liked that vibe. It was cool. It was cool to see.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tyler, Mo Kindred, he's the coolest person in the world, and he's uh, so cool to work with on that. I love I love his music. I got that vibe, and that was the video I wanted to make. But that was one of the coolest events, I got to say. Being able to go there, get
Oh,
a
thanks.
nice cold beer and watch this music video and watch people watch it. Like if it's like back in fifth grade when I've got that burned disc. That's what made me think
We're
of.
gonna have the banana film at the next showcase.
That's right. Yes,
We're gonna
please.
dig it out. We're gonna find a laptop that has a hard disk drive, and by God, we're gonna have the banana, even if it's
By
just
God.
the logo at the beginning of the showcase.
That's right.
Adam
Yeah,
Davis
super cool event,
Films. Appreciate that.
man.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm sure we'll be doing more. We kind
Oh,
of
I
do it
can't
in
wait.
a pop-up nature. We've
Yeah.
struggled with having it being a timely thing, but I'm more of like I like just figuring out a date like 2 weeks in advance and then just promoting the hell of
Yeah.
that at it in those 2 weeks and seeing how it does. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not really one to be like, 6 months from now, y'all, big things coming soon. I'm just more of like, hey, like, can we do it in 2 weeks? And because I don't
Yeah.
even know my schedule like past 2 weeks, so
Yeah. Yeah. That's
yeah,
cool, man.
that was the whole point of the event was to find people that liked making films with their musician friends
Yeah.
it can be such a weird feeling to put all this work into one the music and two the video and then you just upload it and you're just like
Yeah.
you just fixate on like the numbers or comments or whatever and it's
Yeah.
like let's have a
Oh,
party like let's just
let's do it.
let's
I
put
love
it
it. Yeah.
I want to have a party
Such a great
I
idea.
want people to see it and I want us all to like meet each other in person and all that so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um you know
Really cool, man.
I really enjoyed y'all's video as being part of that first kickoff event, and yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
So
Really cool.
how did you meet Tyler?
Oh, man. He was a mutual friend. And I ended up working with this guy named Justin. And he was like, hey, man, I know you're into video. My friend um, Tyler, he makes he makes music.
Yeah,
And I ended up just like going to hang out with them at Papa's and Beer. We went to Papa's and Beer. We were just eating lunch, and then he's like, "Here's my roommate Tyler." And I was like, "Oh, you guys are roommates?" He's like, "Yeah." So I started talking to him, and he was just like such a down to earth guy. And I was like, really like this dude. He's a really cool guy. And then we started, kind of discussing more about, what if we actually made a music video? And let's do it, man. Let's do it. And I was like, let's go. And it was such a cool experience. And now it's, almost a year that we've done that. I was in
yeah,
December right before Christmas and getting to work with him and kind of coming up with a vision of how I wanted it to look and all of this. We're just really inspired by the song. And we filmed some of it in the regeneration station as well, which was really cool, which really sucks what happened to that place. Like, oh
yeah,
my gosh, it's a sad sad chain of events with the flood and everything.
yeah,
It was cool to kind of immortalize that in
yeah,
that time and be able to go back and look. I had a lot of fun being able to work with Tyler and definitely more to come. He's actually working with me right now on a short film. He's take trying his hand at in acting, so we'll see
great.
how that goes. But
Love to hear it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Did you do any music videos before working with Tyler or did you kind of just
no,
yeah?
no, I didn't. I just did the one up in the Buffalo Mountain with the bluegrass
Hmm.
guys playing, Brazilian
Yeah.
music, and I was like, you know, I'll show my editing skills off with, editing to the beat and,
Yeah.
kind of getting cool with it. And, I think like, more than anything, if you to have a passion for it and you're like, I like this stuff. I like watching, music videos. I like watching short films. I like watching any kind of, video
Yeah.
medium. You can do it if you're like, you have that, you know, that in you and that passion. And I was like, oh, this is easy, man. This is cool. And
Yeah. Yeah.
pretty cool.
So when you were working with Tyler, like you guys like talked about the video beforehand, or were you guys like, I don't know,
Yeah.
let's just try shooting stuff, or let's just I don't know if you guys made a video. Sometimes people make videos before the actual video.
Oh,
Like
right,
I
right,
know
right.
some people have made videos and be like, this sucks, but I still want to make something, like I don't know if you guys are just like
Yeah.
what you guys started with is what you used in the end. I don't know if there's any
Yeah.
iterations
Tyler,
before it.
I really wanted Tyler to like, be singing in the song because he's singing in the song. But,
Yeah, it's a
he
tough call to make.
was, yeah, he was kind of against it. He was like, I don't really want to do that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, well, that's cool with me. And so I was just like, all right, well, I just kind of had it all in my head. I was like, I want to be on the river in Asheville. I want to be in the River Arts District. And I want to be down there because, like, I just imagine him standing on the edge of this river and, seeing the graffiti and the bridge and the water. And, like, I just couldn't see anything else but black and white. Like, I thought it was just such a cool vibe to the song. Like, the
Yeah.
song itself is, really black and white.
Hmm.
It's to me, it's like, caring for somebody, and when you care for someone, it's not, like, can't have like a gray area. It has to be black and white. And I don't know, that kind of inspired me to just, I was like, I want it black and white. I want to be on the river. And then I was like, let's just go. And we just
Yeah.
went around and we just filmed in Asheville. We spent like a whole day just going around Asheville and filmed there. And then we went to the regeneration station. And then, we kindly asked them, hey, can we do it? And the guy was like, he's like, we're about to close. He's like,
Of course.
he said, tag us in it
Yep.
and
Yep.
you can film it. And I was like, okay, you got it. So it was just cool. We were just going around, just talking to people and just having fun. And
Hmm.
the graveyard was really cool as well. And just going to all these really neat places that I've seen before, and I've lived here my whole life. And I was like, I know what looks cool to me. So I was like, I want to show this off to people. And
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah, because everybody's gonna have the like stay weird power or whatever, if they're
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
you knew some good spots and that's awesome. That's awesome to hear and
Oh,
see in
sure,
the
man.
video. And so now what are you up to now? So we've got caught up on your SSTI behind the curtain and as the crow flies and Tyler's video. And so what is Adam Davis up to now other than surviving post Helene, as we all
Yeah,
are?
yeah, yeah, for real. Just making ends meet for sure.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I'm working on a short film that I've wrote and I'm going to be directing. It's kind of a tale of this guy who's just wandering around in the woods and you don't really know why he's out there, and the story is told through a series of flashbacks. I'm working on that right now, as well as hopefully making another music video by another local artist who's absolutely insane. His name's Alex Willis, and he he blows my mind. Like, the dude definitely has like kind of this folky kind of sound to him, but then on top of that, like, he can throat sing, like he can
Oh,
throat sing.
yeah.
So crazy. So I'm hoping to make a music video with him, and unfortunately, because of Helene, everything got postponed.
Hmm.
But hopefully, I'm going to be making that here soon, maybe in the coming months. But working on the short film and that music video, and yeah, if you guys need anything, if anybody needs anything, I'm your guy. Let's
Yeah.
make some magic happen. I
Oh
just love
no.
making stuff.
Yeah, no,
So
that's another reason I wanted to get this interview stuff back up and running is because it just reminds me of like all the I deal with so many bands of different genres and different things, and I always stay
yeah,
in touch. Because I'm interested. I'm always in touch with them about what they're up to, and they might be like, "Yeah, we just released a record, and we have like a little mini tour, but like." we really want to make a video and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
should talk to Adam, you should talk to so and
yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah.
like I love seeing all that stuff connect together, and then also
That's
having
cool,
the
man.
having the pinnacle of like, oh, we'll do a showcase too. So I'm looking forward to you and Mr. What was it, Alex Willis? What was his name?
Alex Willis, yep,
Yeah.
and Mo
Yeah.
Kindred. Shout out Mo Kindred.
Yeah. I want to see more music videos at a showcase too for that. And
Yeah,
um
yeah.
but yeah, it's so exciting to hear that you're got stuff in the works. And um
Oh yeah. I'm
I
unbelievably excited, man. It's gonna be so much fun. So
and,
yeah,
and
stay
then
tuned.
and then you'll be doing season 4 this
Yeah,
summer. If you're not
yeah,
busy abroad, getting signed up
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
some United Kingdom theater, they see that. Dude,
Yeah,
that'd be
let's do it, man.
sick, man. You get some old like the historical Shakespeare
That'd
theater
be so cool.
that sees your stuff and all
Oh yeah,
that. And it's
to
a
be or
Netflix
not to be
special.
or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, you're pitching it already. You don't even need me at the meeting. Um,
I definitely need you.
um,
I'm clueless, man. But yeah, yeah, it's I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I'm stoked to meet you and talk
yeah,
shop and geek out and nerd and
yeah.
do all of that. And we got to make outer town.
Well, that's crazy about Outer Town is I wrote that like years ago, right? And the finale,
Yeah,
spoiler alert, is a flood happens in the town of Outer Town.
you go.
So when
Wow.
all this Helene stuff was happening, I was like, oh, F me. Like I
Yeah,
why did I write this in the one movie I ever wrote has to deal with a small mountain town that gets flooded. And I was like, I'm in Black Mountain too, right next to where it meets Swananoa.
oh
And like
man,
I'm
yeah.
like I was just like cursing myself. I was like, this is so now if I ever do any kind of outer town thing, I'll definitely I have to change the ending because I don't know. I can't.
It's a sunny day. It's
I don't know.
65.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. But that's how it ends. Is it all well? That all culminates to that ending. There's
Yeah,
foreshadowing in the whole script and everything. Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Very
but
cool.
but yeah. So I don't know. It's fun. It's not fun, but it's interesting now just to have that script and be like, wow, like that's what was going through my brain back then, and it's very odd to see things happen unveiling the way they are and all that and being like wow like
Yeah.
this is a strange omen or something. So the next script I write I will win the lottery, so
Yeah,
that
that's
way
right.
9 years from
Manifest it.
then I'll actually have something to show for it. But oh
Yeah.
man, so are you planning, so you got your um music video that you're working on and the short film that you're working on. Tell me again more about that. I want to know more about that. How much of it have you filmed? Is it in the editing process? Is it in the
The short film, yeah. So we filmed. So it takes place in basically two kind of parts where it's a consistent story where the guy's walking in the woods, and then as he's walking through the woods, he sees these things, and it triggers a flashback. So we went out. Uh, Gosh, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we went out and we filmed all the outdoor stuff, and I thought, what better place to do it than out in the out in the mountains during the fall, and we went and did that just up in the woods, and it was so gorgeous and so beautiful to be out there during that time, and filmed all of that, and now all that's left is going through and doing the flashback parts, which going to be a little bit more convoluted. It's going to consist of multiple locations with multiple characters, where the woods was just like, hey, we're just watching a guy who kind of walk through the woods. There's no dialogue. There's nothing. And I was like, we could totally knock this out in a day. And it ended up taking us a day and a quarter. We went and filmed Harvard Gap in Tennessee for the one of the final scenes that will happen. But busted all that out, and it went really well. And I was really proud of my crew.
yeah.
Zach and August and Tyler got to act in it, which was really awesome. And now that's left is I'm thinking about maybe tweaking some things. I might rewrite a little bit as we kind of approach the beginning of the new year, and I hope to kind of have a plan come January and February for filming it. As I'm going to start to edit these sequences whenever I get all of that footage, I can kind of just drop it in and have everything ready to go. So that's kind of my game plan for that film.
And I noticed with As the Crow Flies, you submitted it and it got different accolades from different festivals, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What was the process of that like? Like you made the film and then that's a whole different ball game. Like there's people that can make
Oh
films
yeah.
and then there's people that wouldn't know how to even like pitch stuff to festivals or did you were you able to go to attend these festivals and see it and
No, I mean I didn't attend any of them because honestly I didn't know what I was getting into. I
yeah.
just
Yeah.
um, went online and I was like, oh, you could submit your films to these places, and a lot of it was like student films or first time filmmakers, and I was like, hey, there we go. Like that's what I am. So
Yeah.
I thought it was perfect, and I've it was a huge learning process for me. Like, some of these places they'll offer you like 50% off and all of this, but they're not that well known. So really like the goal moving forward is like let's try to get into a bigger name place. Like Nick's film, Glass Valley, won the jury prize at Film Fest Knox, and that's a huge accolade because that
Hmm.
film festival is amazing. It's absolutely incredible. And so incredible that one of the films there actually got a distribution through Regal to go and put it in theaters. Fortunately, we weren't up for that award, but because that film is going into theaters, it's eligible for an Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
Which, like, going to that festival, it all kind of clicked, and I was like, man, I was doing festivals the wrong way. Like, I gotta think about like, okay, I gotta really lock in, and I gotta go to like, you know, let's go to New York, let's go to all these crazy
Yeah.
places, where, if your film's recognized, it can, succeed. And that's like Sean Baker with, his films. They're all independently funded, and goes to festivals, and then he sells the film, and then the film goes to the theaters after that. And then, he won the Palme d'Or, first American film to win the Palme d'Or in like 30 years. So it's really inspiring learning the festival process and being a part of it with Glass Valley. And like, now I'm like, all right, I definitely got to do my homework and research. And it's tough because you think your film's really great, and then when it doesn't get in the festival, you're like, oh man, I
Mm.
need to pick a different career. But um,
No. There's
just
so many moving parts. Yeah, yeah.
but just the as an exaggeration, but really it can kind of be heartbreaking, but excuse me, but it's really a learning process where you kind of have to like focus on, what your game plan is for this film. And that was something that didn't really occur to me when I was making As the Crow Flies. I was like, oh, I can put it in festivals now. Oh, that's cool. But now I'm kind of like, let's kind of tailor this to a festival. Let's try to get into some festivals that can give us these accolades that will allow more people to see it, which is really the long term goal for sure.
And the current film, the short film you're working on, does it have a title for it? Or is it what's it?
Mm. Maybe you can help me out because I don't really have a good title for it. It was originally Walk in the Woods,
Hmm.
but that's kind of like it's really on the nose. There's also a movie called Walk in the Woods already, which I've seen, and it's really silly. Nick Nolte and Robert Redford, based on a book, and I'm like knocking my brain. It's actually I actually based some of the script on a book that I read, which was called Wolf by Jim Harrison. Jim Harrison's an amazing American author, and um, took some things out of that I really liked. And the structure of it is similar in the sense where like this guy is going out and the, he wants it's a false memoir, which is really neat. I've not heard of many books like that, and he wants
Oh,
to go
okay.
out, yeah, and he wants to go and find a wolf. That's like his whole
Hmm.
journey, and there's a lot of like flashback kind of things that happen where it's like him growing up. This is a little bit different in that sense, but I like the simplicity of that title where it's like Wolf. Like, what is he going for? What
Hmm.
what is the main goal? And you kind of discover that as you read the book and you learn what's going on. So, thinking something more similar. Like, I really like that idea, but I don't know what it is. So we'll just say Walk in the Woods for now.
Yeah.
But
And do
we'll
you have
see.
plans to I mean we're steps and steps ahead, but like you plan on submitting that to festivals?
Yeah, most definitely. I
Yeah.
really hope that. it can, get some acknowledgement and go to some festivals and get to go watch it and premiere it. That would be really neat. And I think like what you're talking about, like, did you get to go see them? Like, no, but now I'm like, let's put them in some festivals where I can actually go see it and
Yeah.
get to experience that. I think that would be really, really great to be able to be a part of that for sure.
Yeah, and then you'll have me part of your entourage as the hype man.
That's
Like
right.
every time you meet
Yeah,
an awesome producer from Netflix or Hulu or whatever, I'll be like, and this
100%.
guy, he wanted to call it Walk in the Woods, and I was like, nah, dude, we're not calling it Walk in the Woods.
That's right.
We're calling it Walk.
Walk. That's right. Walk
Okay, no,
hard.
no, Walking. We're calling it
Walking.
Walking.
There we go. I love it.
Or you can just make it really convoluted and call it Walk King, like a king of walking, but you'll just have to repeat yourself all the time. Like it's
Nice.
walking with two Ks. Like
Yeah.
walk
And,
king. You're like, all right, fine, you get an award.
and everybody's like scratching their head, like, what
Yeah.
are you talking about? Yeah, fine. There you go. I love it, man. Yeah,
You've
that's going to be
confused
the
the hell
title.
out of
This
us.
is
Here
going to be
you
Walking. Yeah, the most confused film award. Here you go. I love it, man.
That is
That's really cool.
fun. So you guys what kind of like um what's all the gear? I'm a gear guy. Like what's all the gear
Hmm.
you're using? So you guys it was you, Tyler, and then two other people
Yeah.
on your
So
most and then what were you carrying? You were carrying your Sony.
these guns right here, man. Now,
Oh,
no, I
got a permit.
so yeah. No, August was my cinematographer, and we were using my camera, the Sony A7 III,
Mhm.
and we tried to do dolly track. That was like what we wanted to do. Is we wanted to film dolly
Everybody
track.
wants to do dolly track.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
Everybody. And then you
it's
meet
so
somebody
cool.
that sets it up. It's great. It is great. But then you meet the one person that takes forever setting it up, and you're like, I'm good.
Oh yeah, we spent, oh god, like four, five
We're
hours.
literally losing daylight. We're on this mountain, and like the sun
Yeah,
is fading away.
that that is exactly what happened. It was tough. We ended up not being able to use it because of how much of a hassle it is, and we're on this rough terrain, and we're like, oh my gosh, we can't do this, So
Yeah.
we ended up just doing a lot on tripod, and August was very adamant about, trying to keep it steady. He doesn't want the camera to have a lot of motion. So I was like, all
Mhm.
right, I like that idea. Let's do it. So, it was going to be dolly and tripod, and then, 4 or 5 hours into it, we're like, all right, we can't use the dolly anymore. So we kind of switched over to a gimbal, and I was using my uh, DJI uh, gimbal, and we were trying to do that, but it's so tricky. Like that's why if anybody wants to fund this film, please feel free to reach out because it's impossible to pull focus while you're on a gimbal and it's like it's
Mm.
shaking and it's like oh gosh. And he was using these old lenses that were just so stunning, like they were made in like the 1950s and they were just absolutely gorgeous. I can't remember all the names of them, but he had like a 25 and a 37, and they were just the most absurd lenses that I've ever seen. And it was like on the
Do those have like a I'm just imagining somebody I'm so used to tapping a screen for focus, so he has like a little or he has I don't even know what
yeah
I'm
yeah
trying to
yeah yeah
say.
yeah
He's sitting there. August is
yeah
doing this, I guess, right?
yeah
On the
yeah
lens itself.
yeah. It's so tricky, man, and it's so old,
On a
and
gimbal,
like
he got a gimbal and this.
yeah, and you're kind of going like this, and you're turning it, and like every turn you do, the whole camera just starts,
Oh my,
shaking because it's so old and kind of rusty, and it's like every movement
oh
is
my
like,
goodness.
but we ended up figuring it out, and we ended up just using like the gimbal for a couple things. So we mainly stuck on the tripod, which was like majority of everything that we did. So it ended up working pretty well. But yeah, it's really exciting getting to watch him use those lenses and so beautiful, and like you can just see like the focus ring on the lens itself, and
Yeah,
it's gorgeous. It's really
it's
cool. So I'm
awesome.
excited to actually start coloring it and editing it, and oh man, I'm pretty so
Oh,
yeah, it was tough,
you
but
do all the
we
color
figured it
grading
out.
and stuff. You're a big color grader guy.
I'm not the best, but I try.
Yeah, that stuff
I'm
drives me
starting.
crazy. I don't even mess with it, but
Yeah, it's
you're a masochist.
yeah, it's horrible. You could spend so much time. so much time doing that. And I learned about DaVinci and I started dabbling in DaVinci. And
Hmm.
that software is like, oh my gosh, it's like, you're trying to solve a math problem, moving it from Premiere to DaVinci and back. And it's
Hmm.
absolutely insane. So, and we wanted to shoot on like a 4:3 aspect ratio as well. And like doing that, DaVinci completely like crops our image, and I'm still trying to figure out a solution to that. So I might just color everything in Premiere. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're a total masochist if you love coloring. Like it's a nightmare, man. It's unreal, but it's very beautiful once you can figure it out and know what looks good. And I like a lot of the film emulated looks a lot, like Kodak film, and very, very beautiful.
Yeah. So what made you want to go with a cinematographer compared to like shooting things yourself, like these music videos and the
Yeah,
behind the curtain and your own short film? Like what makes, or I think with your short film you had a, did you have a cinematographer for that?
I did. Yeah, that was Nick
Yeah.
who did Glass Valley. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
So
what makes you what I guess like I'm such a I got to do everything kind of person. It's really hard
yeah.
for me to delegate anything.
Hmm.
Um so like I guess like how do you make that call or like what makes you make that call? I don't know. Like I feel like I just want to give me
Yeah,
the camera. Let me do
yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
focus and all that compared to having another person on board to do all that. Is it just
Oh man, well, it's so funny because like when Nick did Glass Valley, it's just him doing everything.
hmm
It's just him. He puts it on his shoulder and he just films everything. And then he has, a guy holding the microphone, and that's all he does. He wants to do everything on his own. But to me, like I I know that I can go and do that, but in essence, it's like, man, filmmaking is a team, it's a team
hmm
effort. It's like you don't see Ridley Scott, putting the camera on his shoulder and going and filming everything. It's like
Yeah.
he's got a crew, he's got a bunch of people helping him. And I think like that's really important to me is like I want to have people that I enjoy being around that can, help out. And it's hard asking these people to come and spend 12 hours with me, I'll buy you lunch, of course, but
Yeah.
like still it's really tough. But it's such a magical thing once you get a crew of people who are like, we all love film and we want to do this, and it's awesome, man. And I couldn't have asked for a better group of people who are just so dedicated to that mission, that like, hey, we want to make something good, and I'm like, oh yeah, like let's do it,
Yeah.
and you don't get that if you're filming everything on your own, but granted, Nick did an amazing job on his own, and I'm so stunned at the work he did. But I prefer myself. We got to have a crew. We got to have some people, and we got to work together. That's
Yeah.
how I look at
That's awesome. That's good on you. I feel like I need friends now.
it.
I feel like I'm too
Oh,
closed.
yeah.
I'm too closed off, man. Adam, you're bringing up stuff. Um, have you participated in any 48-hour film festivals? Like there's that
uh,
goes on a lot in Nashville every year.
yeah, yeah. Well, I actually was like, I've never participated in one in Nashville, but it's something I really want to do because I know how fun that experience is. But I ended up coaching a group of high schoolers one year while I was at ETSU, who made a short film for the 48-hour film festival in Johnson City, and that was really cool. Just being able to watch like high school students have such a passion for this and have a willingness to create their own thing. And I got to like oversee that and help them out with it. Like they came to me if they needed anything, and that was really cool. But I've never done it on my own. And I was jealous of them because I was like, man, this seemed like a lot of fun. Like I'd love to be a part of it. So hopefully we will one day. One day, I really
Yeah,
hope I can be a part of it. But
that's awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
we'll get you roped in. I just did like um a couple different teams this past year. So yeah, we'll get you
Oh,
roped
sick.
in. Yeah. I mean
That's awesome.
I just do the music, so I don't know. It's my role is very different compared to what everybody else
Yeah, yeah,
does. Like I don't really have to be on set or any I should be, but I'm usually not. So I'm usually like I get the script and then I start making the cues and everything and then like hope it all syncs
nice.
up when I get the
Yeah,
time lock edit and I'm like, yes, okay, that needs to be a little bit longer or whatever. But
that's
um
cool, man. That's really
yeah.
neat.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's a rush, but it's cool. Everybody has that like horse, the carrot in front of the horse, having that time frame, and
Yeah, yeah,
usually they
I love it.
premiere it somewhere.
Yeah, really neat. Wallace Theater in Johnson City is a really cool theater. I don't know if you've been there, but that's where they filmed the or premiered the 48-hour film festival
Mm.
in Johnson City, and they'll show like classic movies all the time. And they also do stand-up comedy. And Asheville has a great stand-up comedy scene too,
Yeah,
which is really really cool. I don't know if you've heard Ryan Gordon, but he's hilarious and he's
I
from
might
Asheville.
have, might have.
He's hilarious. He's got one joke about the Biltmore House that is so funny. He's great.
I remember I'm kind of from all over, but I was born and raised in Birmingham and then lived in Atlanta, then moved to Johnson City for a few months and then ended up in Nashville. And when I was telling people I was living in Nashville, everybody was like, "Oh my God, I just love the Biltmore. I love the Biltmore." Like that's what I heard from, "Oh my gosh, I just love the Biltmore."
I love it. I worked at the Biltmore
Oh,
at
nice.
one point in time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's
got to be.
when did you work there?
This was back in 2019, and I got to be the event work crew we set up for the concerts that they used to do there, and that was really sick.
I don't know if you were there for no, I have great memories because I saw the Goo Goo Dolls at the Biltmore.
Oh no way! That's
Yeah,
so
and it
cool.
was yeah, I mean a big fan. It was like my first CD I ever had growing up, and my fiance and I
Oh,
have a dog, and we named her Iris because we decided to get the dog that day, and then we went to the concert, and we were like, we're naming our dog Iris.
oh, that's beautiful. That's poetic.
But the seeing it at the Biltmore was like perfect. Like
Yeah,
that's the first time I ever saw the Goo Goo Dolls, and like probably the last time I'll ever see them. And yeah,
yeah.
it was so cool seeing it there and the events crew. And, I mean, it's a production. It's a lot to set
Oh
up
yeah,
because it's not
yeah.
like a theater or an amphitheater is all set up there. It's all
Yeah.
structured and a actual dedicated place for it. When you do it on the grounds,
Oh
it's
my gosh. Yeah. Insane. I bumped into Charlie Daniels while I was working there, which was so insane to me.
hell
Like,
yeah.
yeah, like
Maybe he
my
got that
job.
char you got that Charlie Daniels magic on you now. You gotta
Yeah, I do. I do. I know.
yeah.
It was so crazy.
You pick up the guitar, you don't play it the same. You
Yeah,
play it better
Dylan
than
went down to
ever.
Georgia. I could
Yeah,
just pick up a
pick up a
violin
fiddle.
or fiddle. Yeah,
Yeah.
excuse me, it's not a violin.
Fiddle,
It's a
not
fiddle.
violin.
Yeah,
Fiddle is
yeah,
what you know the joke? What's the difference between
What?
a violin and a fiddle?
What's that?
One has strings and the fiddle has strangs.
Drangs. That's right. That's right. I've been cussed out so many times for calling you know, a,
A
a fiddle a
violin,
violin
fiddle.
by the bluegrass cat.
I know.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you. But yeah, it was cool running into him. My job was to throw away the trash. I had to go around and get all of the like. It would just be as soon as they open, it's just like a million wine cups and
Oh yeah.
beer bottles, you know. So
Yeah.
go and I throw it, and then the trailer for the talent is right next to the trash can.
Yeah.
So I throw it over, and then I look, and then these two people are helping Charlie Daniels like up the stairs to the South Terrace,
And
and I was like, "Oh,
you knocked him over.
yeah," I pushed him downstairs. You know,
Bro, you didn't bump into him. You
that's
twisted his
right.
ankle. I read about that. Charlie Daniels twisted his ankle and still performs. That was you. It's not you.
Attacked by some nerd or something. Yeah,
Some
but
nerd.
yeah, but no, it was cool. Yeah, I was like, "Wow, this is Charlie Daniels. I'm throwing away some trash right in front of him. This is cool." So,
This is the
but
best moment of my life.
yeah, I'll
That's great.
always remember that as long as I live. I'll be like, he was wearing a pink collared shirt, big old hat, you know,
Yeah,
and he had his glasses on. Oh man, it was cool. It was really neat.
that's awesome. You'll be filming
Yeah,
a music video of his shortly. I believe it.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, man. I'll be like, hey, I remember you. You bumped into me.
Well, he's no longer with us, but maybe in
You'll
heaven.
be okay. Maybe his hologram music video, his from.
Yeah, Charlie Daniels and Tupac.
Yep, yep. Hey, it can happen.
It can happen. Who knows? I love it, man. That's pretty cool.
Well, awesome, man. Well, I think on that note, manifesting that music video, I think this has been a really fun interview, and I appreciate you being available to do it. And I'm hope to keep this
Yeah,
series up. And then you've kind of relaunched the this season of interviews, so I'm hoping to keep it up. And it was great talking to you and getting to know you more
yeah,
and reviewing. I didn't really know your stuff before, other than the Mo Kindred video at the showcase, and it was
that's cool.
quite a pleasure to watch your short film and your most recent episodes. And I look forward to your
Awesome.
Wood King walking, Wood King walking short film and other music videos we're going to have. So,
Most
yeah,
definitely, most definitely. Yeah, for sure. And I'm happy to be a part of this. And I thank you so much for
yeah,
showcasing the music video and allowing me to, be a part of this
yeah.
interview. You got to get Mo Kindred on here, Alex Willis. I'm sure they'd love to talk music
Yeah,
with you guys.
tell him you. Yeah, hey man, I did it. It was a good time, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's gonna be your biggest hype man. So,
Oh yeah,
um,
100%.
yeah, I would absolutely love it, man. Well, it was good talking to you.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
Well,
have a
cool.
great evening.
Likewise, Joey. Thank you so much, sir. Take care.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah, you too. See you, man.